she'll tell you a little bit more about that, after she comes up and get her award. So I'd like to bring Mr. Takeasha Newton. So, Takeasha L. Newton, Community Organizing Fellow at AFJ, Alliance of Families for Justice, supporting and mobilizing the families of people incarcerated and those with criminal records to empower them to vote for the drastic systemic changes New York State needs, providing community outreach on voter education and registration in New York City, including New York City jails, also campaigning with families of those incarcerated for humane conditions for their loved ones. Before she speaks, I just have to say this here. So my experience with this sister, and she'll speak a little bit about that. We're part of a voting engagement and empowerment campaign. We go to Rikers Island every month and we register people that are there on Rikers Island. And I remember, I don't know if it was the first or second engagement that her and I went to Rikers Island. And while we were there, one of the correctional officers was acting up, a sister, unfortunately, was acting up. We was visiting one of the housing areas, right? I don't know exactly what happened, but I know what happened got her tight. And she wouldn't let it go. And as we were transferring from one housing area to the next, she stood her ground. She was getting ready to confront this correctional officer. And when I seen her, get ready to cut up, I was like, oh Lord, they gonna call the beat on the squad. We gonna get beat down. And ain't gonna tell them we ain't getting off the island. I ain't want to be there, right? But I stood there anyway, back up, you know what I'm saying? I played the wall, right? And she stepped right to the sister and confronted her and questioned her as to her behavior and how she was addressing us. Because we were visitors. Right. We were performing the service. But it was the way that the sister addressed us that she did not take kindly to it all. And she did not let it go. She stood her ground, she represented, she got the respect that she needed, she got her point across, and that was the last time we had that. All right.
Thank you. I'm absolutely honored to be here today.
Whose phone is that?
I wouldn't be here today in August 2022, which is Black Wall Street Business Month. If it wasn't for my colleague, my brother from another organization, Chaplain Victor P. Thank you so much. I don't know how to come back from that story that Victor
Are you the gangster?
shared with you. I am not a gangster. However, I am also a person directly impacted who is considered someone who is rejoining the community. So this fight isn't something that you just register for, file an application for. For me, this is a calling. This is the only thing that feels natural to me other than styling hair. And there's a saying that when your job doesn't feel like work, you know what you're doing. So I know that I'm on the right path and what I'm doing. And it is my purpose to ensure that Black people are respected for who they are. Always, even if I have to check a person that looks just like me. Especially when I know that if you're doing that to me, okay?
That's right.
And I'm a woman, you can clearly see. I was working in a male's facility. So you know that I wasn't incarcerated at that moment. but you still showed your true self, your evil self. And yes, I'm gonna check that evilness every moment I get, because you are going to respect our people, whether they are incarcerated or not. It is a hateful, racial system. And I'm glad that my granddaughter is here today, okay? Because we protect our younger generation, but we are hindering them by not educating them as not to what our history is, but what our present still currently is now today. And we must demand change. And the only way to do that is by fulfilling our purpose. And this is my purpose.